Here, speed is not just a force, but a living, breathing, and sacred entity.
More than 90,000 people have gathered at the Daytona International Speedway. The world's fastest stock cars battle for 200 laps.
The fearless rise to embark upon a quest for glory.
Richard Petty, perhaps the greatest race driver in history.
A prelude to a thunderous ballet soon to erupt.
When Bill France started NASCAR, today's sport started taking form.
It's the Daytona 500.
The great thrill is the win. We want out in front more than anything on earth.
It's one of the most amazing finishes ever recorded.
The ghost of legends past whisper in the wind, fueling the fire within those who dare to pursue greatness.
On the inside, he's coming down toward the finish line. They both spin, they're in the wall. Here comes Kirkus. What? The winner is car number 21. It's unbelievable. And there's a fight.
The roaring symphony echoes the melodies of both triumph and defeat. A journey that tests the very fabric of one's pursuit and being.
Earnhardt's inwards, coming to the line. Derek Cope has won it.
Earnhardt has yet to win the Daytona 500. Just a quarter of a lap away from victory.
From end to end of unresolved, a new chapter is embarked upon, where a youthful protagonist begins to take flight.
Number 24, Jeff Gordon.
For every shadow, there is a light. And within the pain of loss lies a beacon of hope.
20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Dale Earnhardt will win the Daytona 500. Finally.
A torch carried forward from father to son.
The legacy continues.
The bridge between generations to the dreams chased and achieved. This is a ballad of speed, and where legends live forever.
If those two back-to-back videos did not get you hyped one bit, I don't know what else will, because this is it. The crown jewel event of each and every E-Motorsports Network season here. This is how we've started every single season since 2020. Now here in the 6th season, hard to believe that we've made it this far, and we're at the place where each and every E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series competitor loves to win, and so desperately wants to win and enter the history books. And quite frankly, in the past, every single season, this is also one way to book your ticket into the Earl Ross Cup playoffs. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard tonight's first official live production of Season 6 for the E-Motorsports Network on iRacing and, of course, on YouTube. We are again at the World Center of Racing for the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250. And so welcome to the broadcast booth. Of course, you may see that there are two people showing up on your screen. Unfortunately, though, by the sounds of it, there is going to be a one-man booth for tonight's GTR Daytona 250. The voice you are hearing is on the left side. My name is Regan McCauley out of Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. I am excited to be here to call my third GTR Daytona 250 and be here for my 4th season in the NASCAR Series. Who would be on the side with me is Jordy Carraher, who's been here since the very beginning back in 2020, one of the E-Motorsports Network's Iron Men, you could perhaps appropriately say, but unfortunately his presence is not with us tonight. So of course our best wishes to him, and hopefully we will be able to have him here in the booth for the usual 2-man booth at Auto Club Speedway next Monday night. But without further ado, we got to keep this going. One-man show. I'll do the best I can on my own. I've done this before. This would be my second GTR Daytona 250 doing this exact same thing. I did this back in Season 4 because of a couple of technical issues. But nonetheless, it's time to preview tonight's GTR Daytona 250. But before we get to that, as a matter of fact, why not flash back to last Monday night where, yes, I said we officially begin Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network tonight, NASCAR Series tonight. But last week, we unofficially began things off by setting the starting lineup for tonight's event, round 1 of 21 for Season 6. So let's get into that with the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pre-race show. And so thanks to Valvoline for hopping on board to sponsor not only our pre-race show, but also post-race show and the team championship that will be making its return here within the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. And we'll go into a couple more sponsor shout-outs and such, and you'll see them in a couple of commercials later on, which we will eventually naturally reveal how those are going to go. But anyways, here we are, Valvoline pre-race show for the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250. Last Monday, we unofficially began the season still at Daytona International Speedway with single car qualifying, which then those results led into the GTR Duel at Daytona, our 2nd consecutive season doing this format of single car qualifying. The GTR Duel with the 230 lap races to decide the inside line and the outside line for the GTR Daytona 250, which that is what we have here tonight, the Great American Race. So, to start off last week, we had single car qualifying where each of the 26 drivers on our Season 6 roster went out and did one single lap, and the top 2 qualifiers locked their way onto the front row automatically for the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250, and those top two drivers you see here on the screen, of course, second-year driver Adam Wilson scoring the pole for the GTR Daytona 250, his first Daytona pole in Super Speedway. Pole won Dover last year, won his way into the playoffs that way, and he's starting his sophomore season on a pretty strong note, looking to have a sophomore surge instead of a sophomore slump, if that is a proper way to put it there. And then, of course, Corbin McCauley in second place. He rounds out the front row from Charlottetown, PEI. So those two set in the front row. Adam Wilson getting the Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue Pole Award, the first driver to claim that here in Season 6. Now, even though those two did lock up the two front spots for the GTR Daytona 250, they still had to race in their respective GTR dual 30-lap races because those races did have championship points on the line that do count towards the regular season. And so we will get into each of the dual race results, of course. But yeah, the top 10 in each of the two dual races were given championship points. So first place, 10 points, and then 9, then 8, and so on and so forth. And then outside of 10th place, no points, unfortunately. So the duels still mattered, though Wilson McCauley still had to participate in those, of course. But here are the results, starting off with the first of the GTR Motorsports dual races. Andy Hurdle picking up his first career victory at Daytona International Speedway. If we were to count all the races that we've had, not just the 250s and the 200s, but also the clashes and the shootouts and the duels that we've had between last season and this season, Andy Hurdle collecting a dual victory that put him automatically in third place in the starting lineup for the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250. He beat Jordan Kalinian to the line, and the dynamic of each dual race certainly was very interesting and very different alike, as in the first race we saw the main pack that was all together. There were a couple of cars way back that ended up dropping back and were kind of in their own little pack, but the main pack pitted about halfway or so through the 30-lap race. And so about a couple laps after that, I believe it was a 3-car wreck on the front stretch that took a couple of cars out of contention. Unfortunately, Adam Wilson being one of them, but of course he was lucky in single car qualifying to already lock up the pole for the Great American Race. And then Ty Higginbottom was on his way to a potential dual victory. Again, the defending GTR Daytona 250 winner turned head-on into the outside wall in the backstretch on the final lap. Andy Hurdle was the one to get by first, as he and a couple others get piled up there on the back straightaway. So Andy Hurdle going on again to win the first race and to lock up third place in the GTR Daytona 250 starting lineup. Everybody else in these results solidified the rest of the inside line. Again, the odd numbered positions. So that is duel number 1. And then we move on to duel number 2, where we had the rookie, the driver of the number 3. That would be Blake Thronberg at a Graham, North Carolina for Back Row Motorsports. He is certainly making a name for himself here in the preseason portion of Season 6. That is certainly for sure, as he beat Corbin McCauley, Mike Marini, and C.D. Magram to the line in a 4-car duel for the win. Duel. But of course, yeah, Thronberg, we had some private preseason test races 2 weeks ago where Thronberg finished second and first, and then he goes and gets a dual win, so he's looking to carry that momentum here into the GTR Daytona 250 and become the second ever rookie to win the GTR Daytona 250. Justin Belmonte did as a rookie 2 seasons ago, so Thronberg looking to become the second driver to do that, and he would also be, he would continue that streak where the GTR Daytona 250 every single year has had a different winner. We still have yet to have had a multi-time GTR Daytona 250 champion. Of course, there's one driver in here that's won before, and certainly would love to become the first to do that, and Darcy Ford there in 5th place. And so, of course, those are your dual results. We'll now get to the driver standings. As I said, there were points on the line in each of the dual races. Of course, Andy Hurdle, Blake Thronberg are at the top with 10 points each because they both won their respective dual races. So while it's only a couple of points compared to where first place gets you 40 points, could get you a couple more too if you just so happen to win a stage or get some good stage points before you get that ultimate checker flag at the end of each and every E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series race. So again, these points we could go back to last Monday and perhaps say they played a factor in how everything plays out in the regular season. But of course, where it all matters the most is in tonight's GTR Daytona 250, round 1 of 21 of all the official races for Season 6. So there are your quick driver standings. Now we get to the team standings where, man, oh man, the talent and parity between these teams for Season 6 is absolutely crazy. We got Back Row Motorsports, Blue Collar Racing, 519 Atlantic Motorsports, GTR Motorsports, Hyperdrive E-Motorsports, and Tornado Alley E-Racing. So after the duels, Back Row leads the charge with 18 points thanks to Blake Throneberg and Mike Marini. 60-year driver right there. Second place right now is 519 Atlantic Motorsports. That is the longest operating team since the E-Motorsports Network first started, with Andy Hurdle, Jason Butler, and Darcy Ford. Of course, Butler and Ford starting things off back in Season 1, and then Hurdle hopping along in Season number 2. Third place, GTR. Fourth is Tornado Alley E-Racing, which was by far the best team in Season 5. Of course, manufacturer standings, we got 3 manufacturers. Chevrolet currently leading the way after the duels, thanks to Blake Throneberg, Corbin McCauley, Jared Ireland, and Jason Butler, which might as well mention too how team and manufacturer points are going to work. For the team standings in particular, it is the top 2 drivers per team that get their points counted towards the team standings. For manufacturers, it's the top 4 drivers for each. Chevrolet and Ford have 8 drivers each, while Toyota has 10. So the top 4 of each of those manufacturers, top 4 most points in each and every one of those in the races, will count towards the manufacturer standings. Of course, Valvoline team standings, I should specifically say. Again, shout out to Valvoline. And then, of course, we got the Rookie of the Year standings where, yes, this, I believe, would be our lowest rookie class quantity-wise in quite some time. We did have 4 back in Season 4, and then last year we had 8. But of course, this year is pretty much all about quality over quantity, because, I mean, you got Blake Throneberg. We've been talking so well about him ever since our private preseason test races between Jordy and I, and then last week with the GTR Motorsports duel. In the words of Jordy, he could be the real deal. He could be the next coming of a driver like Jordan Kalinian from last year, who as a rookie picked up 8 victories and finished runner-up in the standings. Matt McDonald and Mario Ercolini have also shown some promise in the last 2 weeks between the preseason test races and also single-car qualifying in the GTR duel. So do not count them out either. Again, quality over quantity. This could very well be a very tight Rookie of the Year battle from start to finish. So again, that was the rookie standings. And so that's everything from last week. And now move on, of course, into tonight, where we have the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250 to start off the regular season. Daytona duels, qualifying races, single car qualifying, and the dual races are now set and done. April 21st to September 22nd, many months straight of racing here for Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. Again, starting things off at the World Center of Racing. We're returning to that 1-2 starting off the regular season with Daytona and Auto Club. We did that back in Season 4. And a little fun fact there, we'll see if Justin Belmonte and Corbin McCauley will end up finishing 1-2 again, which they did back in Season 4. I know the latter name would certainly love to, flip the switch there and end up being the winner this time around, potentially. But yes, 14 regular season races, and then 6 races all the way up until the championship finale at Phoenix Raceway, where we're going to crown an Earl Ross Cup champion at Phoenix for the first time since Season 1, where Ryan Gibson held off Corbin McCauley to win the first ever E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series championship. But yeah, take your quick look here through the schedule graphic. Man, oh man, what a schedule this is. Props to the competition committee and everyone involved in putting this thing together for Season 6. Couple different tracks, got a couple of road courses in there. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve and Monza are international tracks, so heading to Montreal. And then Monza, known, of course, within Formula 1, but we went there last year for the first time. Charlie Sears beating Jordan Kalinian in a wild finish for his first career victory. He booked his ticket to the Earl Ross Cup playoffs that way. And so there you have it. And it sounds like here at the Daytona International Speedway live at the track, all the cars are lined up and ready to go. Of course, we have a bit of a thing that we started last week where I go in and I deliver a bit of a quick message and get these drivers hyped up. They give a bit of a quick reaction back. We have a little bit of interactivity between the commentary booth and the drivers as well, so you can hear how hyped these drivers are to get this 6th season of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series ready to go. I will note, actually, we had 26 drivers, all 26 drivers on our Season 6 roster come out to play last Monday night. Unfortunately, tonight we are missing one of them due to a personal matter, so of course our best wishes are with them. Hopefully we'll be able to see them back at it at Auto Club Speedway next Monday night. But without a further ado, again, this is the Great American Race. 25 drivers are gonna duke it out for that first win in Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series and try to etch their name into the history books as a GTR Daytona 250 winner. Only 3 drivers in our field have a chance to become a multi-time winner of it, but everybody else will be looking for their first. We'll see if we get our first multi-time winner or if the streak of a different winner every single year continues. So we will get into the voice chat here on the iRacing service, and we will get these engines fired up live for all you to hear.
Last season for NASCAR, so this will beat both of those by 2. Incredible.
Got to make sure no one's talking in there simultaneously. Alrighty, gentlemen. Are we ready to go?
Let's go. GTR 250, GTR 250, GTR 250.
Okay, come on. I need a little bit more hype at you guys. We're live right now. You're unmuted. Come on. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yes, sir. There it is. That's exactly what I was looking for. That's the spirit. But yes, gentlemen, to the 25 of you, welcome to the first round here of Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series on iRacing. The GTR Daytona 250, our 6th time doing this. We've started with this race every single season. We'll see who of you might become the next different winner of this race, or maybe there's a certain some of you that could end up being the first multi-time winner of this, so we shall wait and see. Best of luck to each and every one of you. Give our fans a hell of a show and give me a good race to call as well. And without a further ado, let's get this party started all the way until September. Gentlemen, start your engines! Hopefully the volume was absolutely perfect for that. But we certainly heard the engines get fired up out of these 25 cars and stars of Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network.
Like it back on the pace car. We're not
NASCAR
going this
Series.
time. We are not going
Getting
green.
ready to go for round number 1. The GTR Daytona 250, the 6th annual running. And so, it's time to introduce each and every one of these drivers who are going to duke it out for the victory here tonight and try to become the first driver to book their ticket into the 6th annual Earl Ross Cup playoffs. And so hopefully we have the music queued up there, ready to go. A bit of a homage there to a NASCAR theme from back in the early 2000s. But anyways, it's time to introduce the drivers. And so, starting on the front row, the first Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue Pole Award winner for Season 6 is the driver of the number 21 Budweiser Tornado Alley E-Racing Toyota from Laurel, Delaware. It's Adam Wilson. On his outside, the driver of the number 17 Macaulay Racing Chevrolet, sponsoring McKinnon Bros Service Center, Shaw's Towing, Cavendish Farms, and I believe Bolger Motorsports would be on there as well. He's from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, 6th-year driver. It's Corbin Macaulay. Row number 2, the driver of the number 7 Ford for 519 Atlantic Motorsports. That's last seen on the car. He's from Dayton, Ohio. 5th-year driver, it's Andy Hurdle. 4th place, the other dual winner from last Monday night, the driver of the number 3 Chevrolet from Graham, North Carolina. For Back Row Motorsports with Thronberg Construction and Fat Boy Designs on that car, it's Blake Thronberg. Row number 3. Your reigning championship runner-up, the driver of the 00 car from Salisbury, North Carolina, driving a Toyota in his 2nd year, looking to build that momentum off from 8 wins last year. It's Jordan Kalinian. 6th place has the driver of the number 12 Toyota from Thunder Bay, Ontario, for Back Row Motorsports, sponsoring the Sweet North. That is Mike Marini. Jared Ireland, the driver of the number 13 from Eudora, Kansas, for Blue Collar Racing, sponsoring Boot Hill Distillery, starts 7th. C.D. Mangrum, the driver of the number 1 Tornado Alley E-Racing Toyota, sponsoring Nordic Aluminium from Atlanta, Georgia. And then you got a former GTR Daytona 250 winners in Justin Belmonte and Darcy Ford rounding out the top 10. Belmonte driving for GTR Motorsports this year. Darcy Ford is back at it for 519 Atlantic Motorsports. Jason Butler, Jose Mercado, 11th and 12th place. That's 519 Atlantic Motorsports and GTR Motorsports right there, 2 60-year drivers. Kyle Knoll, Mason Tomlinson, 13th and 14th drivers of number 15 Storm Surge Esports Toyota. And then for Tomlinson, it is Hyperdrive Esports. Rounding out the top 15 is Charlie Sears, the driver of the number 32, Tom Janikowski, 16th. Rookie Matthew McDonald, 17th. Former Talladega winner Hunter Young in 18th. And then you got Will Kern and Mario Ercolini rounding out the top 20. Ty Higginbottom, your defending GTR Daytona 250 winner, 21st. Series founder Daniel Cudmore in 22nd. Scott Bailey, a former NASCAR Series champion there, 23rd. Second-year drivers Ryan O'Toole and Mark Roulette are going to round out the 25-car field. And then your race analysis. Race length, of course, 100 laps, 250 miles. It's basically a half Daytona 500. Pit road speed is 60 miles per hour. Stages are 32, 32, and 36. The fuel window, according to my inside sources, is about 15 to 20 laps. And, of course, your reigning race winner, Ty Higginbottom. And so the pace car is going to stay out for one more lap. The lights are off, but we're staying out just one more time. So drivers tightening their belts, getting comfortable with the gloves on their steering wheels, and getting ready to go for Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network. Of course, if you are watching our live broadcast on our YouTube channel, feel free to let us know who you're cheering for, who you're supporting. Let us know where you are watching from. Love to get a bit of interactivity going, not just our drivers there whenever the command was given, but also within our live chat. Quick look here at the weather. Partly cloudy skies. Air temperature 28 degrees Celsius, 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Track temperature 45 degrees Celsius, 113 degrees Fahrenheit. So certainly a hot track here under the beaming sun. The wind direction is southeast at 12 kilometers per hour, 7 miles per hour. So it's nice and sunny for these drivers to go at it here in Daytona Beach, Florida. At least the virtual version of it. Eric Audette, shout out to you. Cheering on Blake Thronberg from Massachusetts. Nearly 30 viewers that we got going here. Ben Summerford cheering on Mark Ouellette, the driver of the number 80 car, starting at the tail end of the field, but he'll look to completely flip that around and potentially be the winner of tonight's event. But we're coming off of turn 4 for one final time. It's Adam Wilson, Corbin McCauley, Budweiser, and McCauley Racing leading the field to green for the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250. And so Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series is underway at Daytona. "25 cars roaring down the back straightaway of the virtual Daytona International Speedway. The 17 head the lead clear. He turns 1-2 in the backstretch, but Adam Wilson back up to the top, getting the push from behind by Blake Thronberg. So we'll see who's going to lead lap number 1 of the GTR Daytona 250. That will be Adam Wilson, your pole sitter. So pretty much double file throughout almost the entire field, starting to get maybe a tad bit spread out. So of course with the dual races, the 230 lappers that we had last Monday night, of course friendly reminder as well that we are racing on Monday nights instead of Tuesdays as compared to the past 5 seasons. So there's that change. There's the E-Motorsports Network brand change. No more of the Canadian name in there, of course. Obvious reasons for that we won't get into, but at the same time, it's also makes it more than fair for all the competitors that we have within the network, because most of them, quite frankly, are American. So it only makes sense. It's fair. Have some parity. We're trying to have this North American identity overall within the E-Motorsports Network, so it only makes sense. But as I was saying about the dual races last Monday, of course, 30 laps, fuel window about halfway or so. The drivers getting into kind of single file trains on the inside, just trying to cycle all the laps through and just get to the end. But here in the GTR Daytona 250, bit of a different story, of course, with the 3 stages and also a 100-lap race as well. These drivers might go at it just a little bit with some pack racing, get comfortable with each other. Just kind of see what the racing product will have to offer from their contribution, and also how these cars react with each other, and of course with the weather conditions. But still side by side for the race lead. It continues to be your front row drivers, Adam Wilson and Corbin McCauley. Wilson looking for his 2nd career series victory. Of course, we ride on board with the number 3 of Blake Thronberg, giving him the shove. At least he was. Quick camera change. There we go. Thronberg could very well be the real deal here and could very well be the number 1 candidate for the Rookie of the Year award here in season number 6. 2nd and 1st place finishes in the preseason test races, and then a dual victory. Looking to continue that momentum, of course, here and become the 2nd ever rookie to win the GTR Daytona 250. RC4, the number 64. 4519 as old boy. Got a car going up high, out of the draft. Blake Thronberg gonna drop back outside the top 10. Near contact with the 2 of Daniel Cudmore, series and network founder. Thronberg will get into a slot there on the outside line, back in what looks to be 16th place. And to answer your question, Eric Godet, if you get in a crash and there's enough damage, then you're more than likely going to be out. But if you don't sustain too much damage, you could very well still have a chance to compete for, I probably wouldn't say the win, but solid finish, some decent points. Again, for this kind of a race with a 25-car field, probably our most in a 250 in quite some time. You try to get the most points that you can possibly get, especially with that number that we have. Again, could have been 26, but of course we have one driver that was not able to make it tonight, so hopefully we see them at Auto Club next Monday night. A double file all the way up until what looks to be 14th place, so top 14 going at a double file, and then more single file here towards the middle and the back of the field. Mercado and O'Toole side by side for 17th. Now in lap number 7. Bit of some wiggling up there on the high side as you see now Mike Marini takes the turn of giving the shove to Adam Wilson on the outside. Mason Tomlinson, Hunter Young following him behind. On the inside, McCauley still leading the charge. Hurdle, Kalinian, Ireland, and Justin Belmonte. The top 5 down low. Wilson will lead that lap by the looks of it now in lap number 8. Mike Marini always fast here on these super speedways. He's got a pretty solid track record at Daytona, where if we were to count all the races all the way back towards season number 1, the clashes, shootouts, dual races, 250s and 200s, Mike Marini at Daytona has the most all-time podium finishes and top 5 finishes. Also has the most all-time starts in the E-Motorsports NASCAR Series. A true Ironman. As old man Ryan O'Toole in the back made contact with the outside wall. Give it a bit of a brush, but he keeps it straight. As Wilson dives down, Marini. Oh man, a bit of a bump right there from the 17. That was tight. And now top 2 single file on the inside. Well, there might have been a little bit of trouble there. Around just the bottom of the top 10 as Hunter Young might have gone a bit squiggly. Daniel Cudmore might have brushed the outside wall. He drops back to 14th. Jason Butler, C.D. Magramez. Geez, lots of issues going on here. Cars all over the place. Not... Yeah, it sounds like there was just about an incident right there, but everyone keeps it going just fine. Adam Wilson is way ahead of the rest of the field. Completely on his own. The run from the rest of this pack here, about single file, about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 cars deep. You're going to get a huge run on him. They go up to the high side. So everyone back together just like that. Now in lap number 11. Andy Hurdle, a former GTR 250 pole sitter, now pioneering the field, looking for his second career NASCAR Series victory. Won at Charlotte last year, winning the fuel game by about a lap or so, and then he lost fuel trying to get back to the start-finish line to celebrate the victory. Finishing 6th in points last year, just fell short of the championship finish. So top 3 now single file, as we are more than likely just a couple of laps away here from the fuel window for stage number 1. Again, 32 laps for the first stage and then second stage, and then last stage will be 36 laps, although more than likely closer like 33 or 34. Because again, the caution laps and drivers potentially making pit stops under yellow. Scott Bailey, former series champion, jumps up to the outside ahead of the Swede North car of Mike Marini. He's side by side with Kalinian. It's all the 7s, top 2. Hunter Young, former Talladega winner, in second. Man, what a hard charging performance here early on in this one. He started 18th. He's currently second. That's his highest position thus far. Maryville Speedway, Oswego Speedway, a couple of Ontario tracks on his car. Ooh, kind of wobbling all over the place. Hurdle goes up to block up high. Ooh, Jason Butler a little sideways. He goes to the middle. 3 wide towards the back of the top 10. A lot of these guys have been squiggly and loose early on in this one. As I'm saying that, Hunter Young turns into one of those drivers. Lots of aggressive bumping and shoving here early on in this one. Again, it's 100 laps. We're only coming to lap 14. Kind of see towards the back here, we got 4 cars. That would be rookie Mario Ercolini, defending 250 winner Ty Higginbottom, Matt McDonald, and then Mark Ouellette. All staying back just because of how the racing is up here in this main pack, as Corbin McCauley's second place starter has dropped all the way back to 20th. Curious to note the race summary, how many lead changes we've had here coming to lap 15. Yeah, we've had 4 lead changes thus far, 3 different leaders. Scott Bailey has the Repulink's fastest lap at the moment, which, yes, shout out to Repulinks for hopping on to sponsor the fastest lap award for each individual race for Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. So if you get the fastest lap in a single race, then you will be awarded 1 extra point in the championship standings. Probably just a couple of laps away here from, can only imagine many of these drivers heading to pit road to make their green flag pit stops. Again, unless we get a yellow flag, hopefully the commentator's jinx doesn't happen. Top 5 are now going to space themselves away from the rest of the pack-ish. Again, those guys back in the pack there. A lot more cars over there compared to the top dog, so they're no doubt going to get some good runs. Probably in just a little bit. But yeah, things certainly weren't too relaxing there within the first about 14 laps or so, so there's a little bit more relaxing ahead here. But again, these drivers do want to space themselves out a little bit too, because no doubt pit stops are going to be coming here in just a little bit. These top 10 or so drivers are spaced out single file on the inside. I have no doubt they might be the first to head to pit road. But yeah, most of the field's starting to get single file on the inside line. Again, if you're going double file to pit road is not ideal. It can work, but not really. So we will wait here in just a little bit to see what kind of strategies these drivers put together and who decides to go with who. If we get the entire field, do we only get maybe half of them? As here we go. Most of them will head down. Just under half the field, it looks like. It's Jared Ireland. Oh, man, awkward entry right there. Lock the brakes up a little. Would not be surprised if there's a potential speeding penalty. There's, oh, contact. Kern gets turned. He's going to have to turn around. Jared Ireland gets going. So some pit road shenanigans. Entering the lane. Meanwhile, we got the rest of them here that still have yet to come down. That is a pack led by Mike Marini. And then Adam Wilson, your 250 pole sitter, and then a former 250 winner in Justin Belmonte. This pack not yet coming down. Meanwhile, everyone who did come down a lap prior on the apron through turns 1 and 2, and they will come back out with Jordan Kalinian leading the way. The rest of the field just entering turn 1. So it'll be interesting to see here when this pack here eventually makes their way down pit road. Are these two packs going to get back together and give us a hell of a dash to the first green checkered flag to end the first of 3 stages, of course. As the single file train is going to get ahead of Jared Ireland, who lost a ton of track position along with William Kern after what happened there. Coming to pit road as the rest of the field heads down. Looks like no issues with any of these guys thus far. As long as nobody turns anyone. As I'm saying that, there goes Dan Cudmore in the back. So 0 for 2 in successful pit entries for Pack so far in this 250 as Adam Wilson barely gets out first, but it's actually CD Magram ahead. Oh, contact between Marini and Wilson. Relatively close pit stop times between everybody. As, oh, Mike Marini gets loose. A couple of cars are going to get jammed up together. Marini may be on the accelerator a little too quickly as he's going to get passed by multiple cars on the apron. As here comes the other pack. So after this all cycles out, CD Magram is your race leader. Being pushed by the 15 of Kyle Knoll. Both drivers looking for their first Daytona 250 victories. Magram has won at Talladega before. He was a pole sitter and a winner at Talladega before, as a matter of fact. As, oh man, drivers kind of weaving back and forth there. Knoll falls back. CD Magram and Jordan Kalinian now together there for first and second place. So that's the top 8. Then Belmonte and Wilson are there together, and then the rest of the guys are kind of spaced out a little bit. But again, still plenty of time until lap 32, the final lap of stage number 1. So as these guys try to get themselves back together just before we get to the end of the first stage, we're going to take you side by side for the first time here. A little bit of a new thing that we're introducing here for Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. So don't go away. We're going to have a couple of sponsors be shouted out, have some commercials play, and we'll be back in just a little bit. But here's some side-by-side action.
Mark at Little Rescues, and great organization, and I want Mark to tell us a little bit about responsible ownership in all pets, but especially a little guy that you have here. Can you tell us about Arthur?
Arthur here, he was born a perfectly normal red-eared slider. He has what's known as metabolic bone disease. So he was, over his lifetime, denied proper nutrients and calcium and the basic necessities that a turtle needs to survive and grow properly. So with the compression on his internal organs, this will unfortunately cut his life short. But for now, he enjoys a really great life with the Little Rescue as our premier animal ambassador for animal cruelty and show people what not to do with the turtle.
It's organizations like this that need support. I mean, sure, we all have dog rescues, cat rescues, but when you see a guy like Arthur here, you know, all pets need great care, and this is what the Canadian Pet Expo is about, okay? So come on down, learn about Mark and what he does with Arthur, and support such a great cause, okay? Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
With Mark.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway here for the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250. That was our side-by-side coverage right there with a couple of sponsor shoutouts and such, of course. From Lil Rescue, Reptile Rescue, Nordic Aluminium, and Zesty Paws as well. So thanks to each and every one of them for hopping on to support the E-Motorsports Network for our 6th season of NASCAR racing. Here we are back at it, just a couple laps to go here in stage number 1, where we have a 13-car pack going at it for the stage 1 win. C.D. Magram was not clear there to block Scott Bailey. He will be drifted back through the middle. So it was mainly double file action there from first to 13th place, but now C.D. Magram dropping all the way back, and he goes to the outside. So now, because of that single file for pretty much everyone all the way up until Ty Higginbottom in 9th. So now a bit of a single file train, a couple of cars spaced out. Still a couple laps remaining, just need to get a couple of good runs going here, and we might have very well have a wild run to this first green checkered flag. As Kalinian will jump up high, give a side draft there to the 15 of Kyle Knoll, trying to make something happen. But of course, only one car up high. That's going to cause Andy Hurdle to take advantage with his run and go down low. Darcy Ford getting a shove from Ty Higginbottom from behind. Ooh, Kalinian about not clear there. Ford nearly got into him. Eventually, Kalinian clears himself in front. Knoll will drift that back up high, but Adam Wilson might try to give him a shove. But man, that inside line has way too much momentum going for it. So now 4 laps to go. Roaring down the backstretch, it's Scott Bailey leading the charge over Corbin McCauley. These two drivers had a couple of wild feuds back in Season 4 of the NASCAR Series. Of course, Bailey coming out on top championship-wise. The Allendale, Michigan driver in his 4th year with the series. 3rd and 4th in points in Seasons 1 and 2, where they combined 10 victories, and of course returned for Season 4 and was the champion. Nice slick Coors Light livery that he's carrying there. Now with 2.5 laps to go. And right in behind is, oh boy, I think we have trouble. Yes, a couple of cars down low, back up the track. We're trying to keep it going. No, C.D. Magram, Ty Higginbottom in trouble. Yeah, kind of straight. We're staying green, though. No cars fully around. Now 2 laps to go. Oh, boy. Tom Janikowski now goes around and into the inside wall off of turn 4. As multiple cars head to pit road, Janikowski will get back onto the track, so a lot of chaos going on all over the place. Meanwhile, we're still green and coming to the white flag for stage number 1. It's 3 cars together, Bailey, McCauley, and Mason Tomlinson, a former stage winner in last year's 250. But then there's a 4-car. There's a 4-car pack that are hauling it towards these top 3. White flag stage 1. That's Jordan Kalinian, Darcy Ford, Jose Mercado, and Hunter Young. Roaring towards these top 3. Trying to make it a 7-car fight for the stage victory. So we'll see who will come out on top here as a couple of cars go up high to try to get a run. That's McCauley, Kalinian, and Ford together. Ford about trying to make it 3 wide. And he will. Kalinian's not going to have any help. Neither is Ford. It's all the inside line. Bailey gives Tomlinson a shove. Or excuse me, that's Mercado. And then coming to the line for the stage checker flag. It looks like your first stage win of the season is either Bailey or McCauley. Side by side, drag race to the line. Bailey gets the run up high and will take it. Perfect timing by your Season 4 NASCAR Series champion, the first stage winner of the season. We might as well pull this up because we have this for every race. Scott Bailey, congratulations. First stage winner of Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. So a nice little welcome back after going on a hiatus last year. So, of course, 10 stage points going to the 48 of Scott Bailey. Of course, if you win a stage, you also gain 1 extra playoff point. And I have just received communication on what our official stage results are. So for stage number 1, officially, Scott Bailey, first place. Corbin McCauley, second place. Mason Tomlinson in third. Jose Mercado, fourth. Darcy Ford rounding out the top 5. Jordan Kalinian, Hunter Young, Adam Wilson, Kyle Knoll, and Mike Marini rounding out the top 10 for stage number 1. So once again, congratulations to the 48 of Scott Bailey, who we have known as the driver of the number 88 in past seasons, but made the change to 48 this time around. So again, as we are under the stage yellow flag here in the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250, looking here at the rest of our live chat. Brant Mickle, assuming I'm saying that right. Fatboy Designs, correct me if I'm wrong. Fatboy Designs cheering on Blake Thronberg. Charlie Irwin cheering on Matt McDonald and Ryan O'Toole. As most of the field is going to head down pit road under yellow. Jano cheering on Tom Janikowski from Neenah, Wisconsin. I believe that's how you say it, right? And these Sean O'Neill cheering on Mason Tomlinson. So again, if you haven't interacted in our live chat just yet, feel free to pop a comment in there. Let us know who you're cheering on, where you're cheering from, where you're watching from. And of course, like our broadcast, subscribe to our channel here on YouTube and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any. Again, the notifications for the rest of our live broadcasts here at Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. Already at 6 likes. Looks like over 100 views, and currently concurrent viewers currently over 30. So again, thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in. This usually is our most viewed race every single season. We actually had a pretty solid viewership count. We're now at about 400 views for the GTR Duel. And, of course, single car qualifying as well. So great to see. And it looks like Jose Mercado was the first off of pit road. Or we'll actually go back. That's why we have the replay option. Okay, yes, there you go. The greatness of technology, as you saw right there, Mason Tomlinson drove a little too quickly through his pit stall, so we had to back it up just a little. So you see the number 41 Valvoline Ford of Mercado going for just fuel on his stop. So as we're still under yellow here, and we're getting ready to wave the green flag for stage number 2, of course, might as well go ahead and give a shout out to each and every one of our sponsors for Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. It's hard to believe that we have a sponsor for every single race this season. You got GTR Motorsports, Little Rescue Reptile Rescue, Cows Fried Chicken and Barbecue, who was the series title sponsor for Season 5, Nordic Aluminium, that's a CD Magnum sponsor right there. Also got Tornado Alley Racing, Zesty Paws, shout out Tom Janikowski, Pizza Main, Repulinks, I believe that's a Cudmore reference right there. We got Amara Parker Racing, believe I said that right. Audrey's Legacy in there as well for Dover. And then the Black Fly Championship race for Phoenix Raceway to end off season number 6. And of course, some of the more shout-outs as well. Valvoline Instant Oil Change for the pre-race, post-race show, and the team championship. Repulinks for the fastest lap. And then, of course, if you get the lucky dog, or I guess in our case it is the lucky turtle, Low Rescue Reptile Rescue sponsoring that. So shout out, of course, to Mark Goulette and them for hopping on board for that. Or waddling, or whatever a turtle does. Of course, the Cow's Fried Chicken and Barbecue Pull Award. And then Zesty Paws is in there for a challenge that they will be putting together for 3 races across June, July, and August at Charlotte, the Chicago Street Course, and Bristol. So the driver who accumulates the most points out of those 3 races will earn an iRacing gift card courtesy of Zesty Paws. So again, thanks to them and Tom Janikowski. Back to the virtual Daytona International Speedway where we are set to go green on lap 37 of 100. So if the math is right, that's going to be 27 laps, I believe, to the end of stage number 2. But the iRacing pace car rolls off onto pit road, and we're going to go back to green with Jose Mercado and former 250 winner Darcy Ford leading the field back to green. The iRacing volume would be absolutely useful. There we go. And it sounds like we are I'm extremely late on this one, but it looks like the number 7 of Andy Hurdle might be, again, it's early, but might be our first DNF of tonight's race. He is currently, I don't know if I called out the server or within the server. Someone might have to correct that on the right now on the spot, but right now 6 laps down and potentially out. Again, might be damage from what happened in that earlier incident that did not result in a yellow. Meanwhile, back here out on the racetrack, you saw some aggressive driving right there as Mario Ercolini dove his way underneath Mason Tomlinson to try and go for the top spot. But he drops back into 3rd place behind Scott Bailey. It's Tomlinson to the lead. Shed into our live chat where we had Chase Beatty, a former GTR Daytona 250 winner back in season number 3. Cheering on GTR Motorsports, of course. Great to see you tuned in, Chase. Who made a couple of starts with us last year as well. Story with him back in season 3 was he was the first driver to clinch a spot in the Earl Ross Cup playoffs, but unfortunately, from the first playoff race onward, he was not able to participate with us due to some personal matters, and then made the championship race at Homestead, Miami in his honor. And that's where we ended up crowning Ty Higginbottom as a E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series champion for the first time. And we have a yellow. It's trouble for our series and network founder, the 2 of Dan Cudmore for Team Penske North. Not the return that he wanted. And it looks as though his first start within the series since Season 4 goes up in smoke. Damage on the front end. Looks like that engine might be completely gone. So that's our first incident-related yellow of the race, surprisingly, considering all the stuff that happened earlier. So, of course, with the power of replays, we will go back and find out what exactly happened. There's a millisecond of a preview right there. Oh, yeah, gave the bump to Collini and Cudmore. Kind of scrambling around down into McCauley, hard into the outside wall. Not clear could be a potentially appropriate way to put it. But yeah, Cudmore stuck literally in the middle of a bit of an unfortunate situation. Yeah, man. And this is the kind of driver that you see always try to wait until the end to try and be there to compete for the win or a great finish. And he's one of those guys that is very respectful with his competitors, his peers. Tries to kind of wait out the carnage, but unfortunately it looks like it just had to, kind of the opposite effect had to happen to him there, so that's very, very unfortunate for, again, our network and series founder, who, again, the man returning to the helm after last season, going on a bit of a break. A very well-deserved one, to say the least. So there he is behind your defending 250 winner Ty Higginbottom, who's been still in his pit box for now almost 4 minutes. Matt McDonald's a lap down still on the racing surface, as most of the lead pack will come to pit road. And I think we have a certain thing that we may have to turn on here. Do we have the confirmation? Yes, sir, we do. Officially, for the first time here in Season 6, we did do this back in the... I don't remember if it was last Monday or the Monday before preseason test races or during the duel, but here we go. There it is, the little reptile rescue. Lucky Turtle goes to the 25 of rookie Matthew McDonald. I remember the joy between Jordy and I when that first popped up. Oh, it was beautiful. Yeah, it was cute. Yeah, it's the two losing the radiator, something like that. He unfortunately lost the ability to get that first GTR Daytona 250 win, so he's going to have to wait another season in order to get that done, unfortunately. Ty Higginbottom looks like that's going to be the same case for him and Andy Hurdle as well. Tom Janikowski's been in his pit box for almost a minute and a half. Same for CD Magram, as now Janikowski drives out of his box, back onto the racing surface. Pace car light's still on, as the lead pack through the tri-oval. Oh man, it looks like a lot of them are actually going to head to pit road here on lap. It's going to be 42 here in just a couple of seconds. Now 9 laps away from halfway through the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250. So we've seen a couple of drivers come off of pit road first, depending on their decisions and their strategies and such, and we'll see who it is this time around. It's going to be Tomlinson beating Scott Bailey. Bailey Mercado's cars, for some reason, from a certain angle, look the same. Just that bright white color. Again, I am partially colorblind, mind you. Little fun fact. Not really for me, but I digress. So, a little race summary thus far. Of course, 2 cautions. The first one for stage number 1 ending. And then the incident-related yellow there for the 2 of Dan Cudmore. We've had 12 lead changes through 41 laps. 8 different leaders. Your pole sitter, Adam Wilson, has the Repulink's fastest lap so far. Again, if he can hang on with that, that would be 1 extra point for him in the championship standings. And that happened on lap 28. And where's the weather at, perhaps? Partly cloudy skies. It looks like the track temperature has gone down a couple of degrees. I think it started at 41 or 42. Now it's at 37. Wind direction is in the east now, or towards the east. Then back to southeast as it started. And from what it looks like here on the scoreboard or ticker, or however you want to word it, here on the screen, it looks like Andy Hurdle. It says out beside his name, so yeah, and the question mark is right beside him on my timing screen as well. So yeah, that is the first DNF. And so on this restart, everyone's single file on the inside with Charlie Sears up high. Interesting situation there. We're back to green. So I just got the word because everyone put it will be single file second row back, so that's what we just saw right there. But anyways, back to green flag racing. Just over 20 laps to go in stage number 2, the middle of the 250, which the exact middle of the entire 100-lap, 250-mile race is in just a couple of laps. That'll be when we complete lap 50. Judging by how many laps we have until the end of stage 2, I would say there's a likely chance that these guys will be able to make it back to the end. Again, if anyone's hearing that and wants to give me confirmation that that might be off, that it could be close, whatever it may be, feel free to let me know. As you continue to live and learn and naturally learn the facts as we go here at Daytona. Mike Marini leading this now. That'd be a 22 car field, or make it 24. Ty Higginbottom's back on the racetrack, 6 laps down. Dan Cudmore's still in his pit box. I'd say more than likely he's done. The smoke's still coming out of the engine compartment. But a relatively single file train, relatively is an understatement. From first all the way to, it looks like 9th is actually, they're trying to make it work on the outside. That's Jordan Kalinian and William Kern. Haven't talked a whole lot about the number 31 car. Driver from Dansville, New York, driving for Hyperdrive Esports. He's got Pride and Trust Painting, Carter Racing Paints, and Red Jacket on the car. The midway or so through Season 5 last year, joined along for the ride, made a couple of starts, and it's pretty solid. A couple top 10 finishes, 1 or 2 top 5s in there. Made 6 starts to be exact. Looking to make it full-time this season and start every single race. So giving a couple of bumps there to Kalinian, kind of a bit all over the place, so they had to relax it just a little bit. Meanwhile, more towards the back. There's the 13 and third-year driver, Jared Ireland, a 4-time winner in the NASCAR Series, a former championship runner-up. 14th in points last year, but unfortunately was absent for a couple of events. So we'll try to turn that around, maybe make it a perfect attendance, and finish 1 position higher than he did back in 2023. As now, after all that single file train racing, we're back to double file up towards the front as, wow, Thronberg all the way down to the inside there to get in front of the 12 of Mike Marini. Jordan Kalinian getting the shove from Kern on the outside. Oh, Kalinian was bumped into the wall very briefly. They keep it going just fine. Looks like another car might have brushed the wall off of 4. I think that was Janikowski. But we're back to double file action here up front now on lap 48 of 100, just a couple laps away from halfway through the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250. We'll see who we can call the quote-unquote halfway winner. Top 2 now single file, the 00 and the 31 with the 17 and 3 side by side. Your top 2 finishers from duel number 2 last Monday night. Got a pair of 6th-year drivers there on the outside leading the charge, the 17 and the 64. And man, oh man, Darcy Ford, I must tell you, the only driver in series history to have won the 250 and the championship in the same season, back in Season 2 though, that was 2021, mind you. It has been since the championship finale at Las Vegas in Season 2 It's been that long since Darcy Ford has been to victory lane in the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. So like, just think of that Season 2 championship finale, and then there's Seasons 3, 4, and 5 without a win. And now here in Season 6, GTR Daytona 250, Ford will look to finally snap his winless streak, break the curse that has been going at him for quite some time. Ford was sideways there, giving some shoves to the 17 up high. New race leader, Corbin McCauley. McCauley is your defending Talladega winner in the series, won the playoff race last year. So looking to add his first ever all-time victory at Daytona. As Ford dove to the inside there in turn number 2. To try and take the lead, but they'll be side by side. Kalinian giving the shove to Ford. They will catch the lap car of your defending 250 winner Ty Higginbottom, who will stay up on the very high side, right along the outside wall. Looks like they're going to get by him just fine. He's going to get in behind Kyle Knoll, try to stay within that pack up high. Or maybe dive it back into the inside eventually. But now we are officially halfway through the GTR Daytona 250. And it's a pair of Ironmen going at it there. In the 2 top spots. One a former 250 winner and the other not yet. Both former series champions. McCauley, your defending NASCAR Series champion. 5 years of trying, 5 years of frustration for the 17. How about this? We got another Ironman going at it up here. It's the 10, Jason Butler. It's a bit of a 6 years of trying, 6 years of frustration situation potentially for the 10 car. Out of London, Ontario, he still has yet to pick up a victory on the NASCAR Series. Best championship points finish of 13th back in Season 4. So a pretty stellar transition to iRacing from console that season. 20th in points last year. Believe he missed a couple races. But look at that run up on the high side. Those 4 cars, McCauley, Belmonte, Kalinian, and Thronberg. And would you look at this? Top 2 is a flip of the top 2 results that we got in the first 2 races of Season 4. Except McCauley's looking to flip the script this time around. And again, Belmonte looking to become the first ever multi-time GTR Daytona 250 winner. Maybe try to win 2 in 3 years. And remember too, he finished runner-up in last year's race as well, so he's finished in his career. There was first in his rookie season, then there was second last year. So he's trying to keep up a bit of that podium streak, maybe a top 2 streak, however you want to put it. Ooh, Matt McDonald now 2 laps down, brushing the outside wall. He'll get out of harm's way. At the stripe, Thronberg's going to lead that lap. With now 11 laps to go in Stage 2. The 3 car out in front at Daytona. Always love to see that. It's probably our first like Dale Earnhardt or Austin Dillon-esque car that we've gotten in the history of the series. So maybe that's why Thronberg's the real deal. Maybe that's the reason why Jordy Carraher last Monday had spewed out those words. And again, he has shown that potential and that speed even through just the preseason test races and last Monday night in his dual race that he won. And he's got lots of supporters behind him too in the live chat. And it took me this long to realize because of a message in our live chat that Hunter Young doing his own version of Corey LaJoie in real life with the face on the hood, except this time around it's not LaJoie's face on his own car, but it's Chase Beatty on Hunter Young's hood. So let's see here if we can... Oh yeah, there we go. So there you have it. In the rearview mirror of the 15 of Kyle Knoll, you have We have Chase Beatty. It's not Chase Beatty, but it is Chase Beatty. Apparently. I don't know what kind of humor that is, but there you go. I'm sure if Jordy was here, he would make some sort of a joke. It's just what he's known for, and that's what we love him for. Most cars up front here on the inside, once again with Jason Butler falling back on the outside. A couple of cars behind him, Young. And I believe Bailey and Janikowski will try to help him get up towards the front. Oh man, Butler tried to clear himself to the inside. He's going to get turned. And they're going to crash in the middle of the pack. One car goes around. Yellow for Hunter Young. Butler got it going. But Hunter Young becomes a victim of that situation. His cars were kind of all over the place. It looked like Butler was trying to clear himself in front of someone. And I guess there's the commentator's jinx. My condolences, Chase Beatty. But that is our third yellow of the race and second incident related. A winner at Talladega in Season 4. Caught up in that one. So we'll first take a look at what exactly happened with Jason Butler. Okay, so it looks like he tried to clear himself a bit aggressively with Kern, not even close. Against Kern, they both go through the grass. They were both just fine, but of course we will get to Hunter Young eventually, so those two turned out fine. But it's the 77 that we got to pay attention to. As, yeah, he was behind Butler, and then... Oh, yeah, Bailey tried to get himself in behind and hooked him right down. Spun up the track, and thank goodness no one else was collected in that one. So not ideal for any one of them, but it looks as though each and every one of them were able to avoid extensive damage. Young stays down to let McDonald, Magrum, and somebody else there get by. Good choice. Yeah, Chase, I might take back the condolences because there was no damage, so I think we're fine. There's still plenty of time. So a bit of a commentator's jinx, but thank goodness didn't cause any damage. It did for track position, but not car damage. And a lot of the field is going to come down pit road just before we get to the end of this second stage as Dan Cudmore continues to smoke in his pit box. And yes, Chase, it makes perfect sense. You are you couldn't race this season, but you are a past 250 winner. You got to be in the race in some capacity. You know what? Yeah, that golden. Perfect excuse. No argument. Looks like Kyle Knoll first off at pit road, so the top 5 stayed out. That's Thronberg, Ireland, Wilson, Sears, and Ercolani. Everyone from 6th to 20th. Did not head down pit road. As C.D. Magrum is currently in his pit box. Matt McDonald heading down. A lap down. So now the race summary is at 3 cautions, 18 lead changes after 58 laps, 12 different leaders. That lap 28 lap by Adam Wilson is still the Rep Young's fastest lap. And so assuming we have maybe 1 or 2 more pace laps until we get to the end of this second stage, we are going to take you side by side, shout out a couple more sponsors, and then we'll be back at it for some more green flag racing to conclude the second and middle stage.
Good morning, Philip. Time for an oil change. Remember last time?
I'd rather not.
Took 3 hours. You forgot Little Henry's video game. You're not as entertaining as a video game, Philip.
Silence your oil change anxiety at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Get an expert oil change in about 15 minutes with no appointment needed.
Thanks for coming in.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
Welcome back to the virtual Daytona International Speedway for more coverage of the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250. As you can see now on the screen, we are coming off of turn number 4 of the pack, exiting turn 4 behind the iRacing pace car for one final time, at least in this second and middle of 3 stages. It's time to crown another stage winner, award some more stage points. It'll be a 4-lap shootout to the green checker flag. Blake Thronberg leading the way. So unless the 48 of Scott Bailey can find a miracle here within these tiny amount of laps, he's back in 10th place. If a miracle happens, he could end up trying to go back to back. So, man, they're getting a little bit wiggly up there on the outside line, trying to make something happen, make a run happen towards the front as it's single file for the top 6, almost 7 cars. Ooh, no, that was very tight there, and behind Belmonte up high. Top 7 single file on the inside. We'll see if that outside line can get a run going to catch up to these top dogs. Knoll giving Belmonte quite the shove. And again, as I said earlier, Scott Bailey will try to be a hard charger here and try to go for back-to-back stage victories, but he is currently stuck in 11th. But anything's possible here within these final 3 laps. And remember last year, too, twice the big one struck. In Season 4, we had it during Stage 1 as Blake Thronberg heads to pit road. I think that might be a fuel situation, I'd say. Unless I'm given some other confirmation otherwise. So that's not going to be a stage win for the rookie, but that means your pole sitter for the 250, Adam Wilson, is now out in front with 2 laps to go, now 1.5. But as I was saying there last year, the big one occurred during stage 1, and then it happened on lap 42 last year. So stage 1, then stage 2. I wonder this year, would it be the 3rd and final stage? Maybe do we get a bit of some carnage towards the end, perhaps? But again, though, the commentator's jinx, it's happened already once here tonight. Will it happen here for this stage 2? Green checkered flag, last lap, lap 64 of 100, final lap for stage 2. And we have basically the entire field together for this one. So lots of valuable points on the line. A playoff point for the stage winner. And of course 10, 9, 8, and so on and so forth until 10th place for one singular stage point. As Adam Wilson tried to go up high to block Jordan Kalinian. Kalinian to the middle, Belmonte up high, 3 wide for just a stage win. Look at that run up on the high side. Macaulay and Knoll giving some good shoves there to the 60 Belmonte. Macaulay goes low. Looking to get redemption from the last stage as he was beat by Bailey to the line. In the wall goes someone. Macaulay gets turned. That's going to be not the big one, but a crash to the stage checkered. And it's Justin Belmonte picking up the stage victory. But 2 cars go around coming to the line. That certainly looked like it was going to be a pileup. It was basically a ticking time bomb for quite some time there for just a 4-lap shootout to then an eventual automatic yellow. But no. Relatively the entire pack was able to get through that one. It was just Macaulay and 1 or 2 other cars. But there is the stage checkered flag, and so congratulations, stage number 2, as we will pull up the graphic. There we go. Justin Belmonte, stage 2 winner in the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250. So congrats to him. Again, looking for his 2nd GTR 250 win within 3 seasons. Trying to keep up that streak of 2nd place or better finishes or podiums since his first career 250 and first career start within the series. So congratulations to the 48 in stage 1, and now here in stage 2, the 60. And so stage 2 results, I had just been communicated them. Justin Belmonte, Mike Marini, and Mason Tomlinson, your top 3. Mario Ercolini, 4th. Charlie Sears, 5th. Scott Bailey, 6th. Jason Butler, 7th. Darcy Ford, 8th. Ryan O'Toole, 9th. And rounding out the top 10 with 1 singular point is Adam Wilson. And so Belmonte joins Bailey with that 1 playoff point. Shout out to the 4, Mason Tomlinson. 3rd place finishes in back-to-back stages. But again, for this 3rd and final stage, to the final and most important checker flag of the entire night here, or day, in the iRacing service, however you want to put it. For this 6th annual GTR Daytona 250, that final flag, the most important one, as I was saying, that's the one that Mason Tomlinson will want to make up those 2 spots ahead and end up on top. And so after that incident, we have Corbin McCauley and Jared Ireland in their pit boxes. Matthew McDonald heading down pit road. Kyle Knowles in there as well. So at 17, 13, and 15. Let's go and find out if those were the 3 involved in that little incident that we just had there to end the 2nd stage. So here they are coming down the backstretch. We'll go back another 10 seconds there because it got wild here up towards the front. You see there Wilson getting put into the middle and dropping back like a rock. And then Kalinian, same situation. Big run up on the high side, Belmonte, Knoll, and Macaulay. Macaulay dips down low. Gave quite the bump there to Knoll. And then Knoll into the wall. Contact from Tomlinson goes down into the 17. Hard on the outside wall, and then, yeah, you saw Jared Ireland all the way down there spinning through the tri-oval grass. Was able to get it going just barely. Macaulay got it turned back around. And then you see a bit of smoke out of the 15 of Knoll. So one more replay here. And Noel was loose, and then Tomlinson got in the back of him, and then it just took one more loose case there at the 15, and then around goes the 17. You see that front end damage, particularly on the left front. Not ideal. And I got word that he had the 17 is 14 minutes of optionals and a drive-through penalty. Not sure if it was from sometime late in the incident or if something might have happened there that we didn't see. Again, pretty much everyone came down pit road, so I assume it was that. But regardless, not what the number 17 wanted. Yeah, there's the confirmation. Oh, incident limit. All right. So regardless of any of that, not ideal for the 17, who is on the lead lap. But again, though, that hit to the outside wall, we'll see how limiting it is to his opportunity to still potentially get that first GTR Daytona 250 victory. Again, you never know. There's still over 30 laps remaining. Yeah, it'd be 34 to be exact at the moment. So we come to 33 laps to go in the GTR Daytona 250, and we might as well thank TrackCams22.com for providing us with these amazing camera angles. Let's do the crank it up to begin this third and final stage of the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250. And so once again, that was the TrackCams22.com Crank It Up. Thanks to them for, since us transitioning to the iRacing service on computers after our 3 consecutive seasons, seasons 1 through 3 on the console, NASCAR Heat 5, and now iRacing since season 4, seasons 4, 5, and 6. That will make it a half and a half once we complete season 6 here. NASCAR Series. Of course, thanks to them for providing us with these amazing camera angles that really help to enhance our broadcasts and make them look as professional as anything here. Make them look like the real deal. Obviously, try to strive to be like, you know, the top dogs and, you know, the NASCAR iRacing, Coca-Cola iRacing series, of course. So, of course, in our description, there are links to their page and to the oval package that they provide. So thanks to them, and of course each and every one of our other supporters, sponsors, partners, Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue, GTR Motorsports, Nordic Aluminium, Tornado Alley E-Racing, Zesty Paws, Amara Parker Racing, and Valvoline, and Repulinks. And so while we were during that Crank It Up, it was mostly single file, but as the laps progressed, we did start to see a little bit more double file action as we are seeing now. Lead changes are still going wild, as now we're going to have William currently lapping the GTR Daytona 250. If we look at the race summary at the moment, we've had 24 lead changes across 74 laps, 14 different leaders. How about that? Your current race leader, Will Kern, has the Repulink's fastest lap so far on lap 62. As old man Throneberg, way out of the pack down to the apron. Something might have happened there with the rookie out of North Carolina. Looking at the weather info again. Looks like the temperature going down just a little bit once again. Wind direction still the same. But right now, this lead pack has 17 cars, and then Tom Janikowski and Jason Butler are on their own. They just crossed the start-finish line. Mark Goulette just getting off of turn 4. Corbin McCauley 1 lap down. So there he is behind the lead pack. Ty Higginbottom 7 laps down, but is with all the top drivers at the moment. It looks like Kyle Knoll is the second. Although it says pit beside him on the scoreboard, my timing screen has the question marks, so I can only imagine that is the second DNF of tonight's race. Dan Cudmore's still in here, in his pit box. Still got the smoke out of the front end. But now we are at 24 laps to go in the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250. These guys have now, most of these guys up front, the entire lead pack has amassed an 11 lap stint since last pitting. So I've no doubt within a couple of laps we'll see this next and probably final fuel window. And then we'll see if everyone gets back together, and then we will have a mad dash to the checkered flag. And we'll find out who will enter the history books as the next GTR Daytona 250 winner. As I've been saying time and time again, you guys being interactive in our live chat, of course you've been telling us who you're supporting, where you're watching from. Might as well let us know too, or let me know. Who do you think's going to win? Don't be afraid to go off some winner predictions. Maybe predict the top 3, top 5, I don't know, whatever you want to do. Make some predictions for how this is going to go. Are they going to make it back clean? Are we going to have another big wreck or two? I mean, if you remember Season 4, the Firecracker 200 that Ty Higginbottom went on to win, that was the regular season finale to be specific. That last lap had a wreck in probably every corner of the racetrack. Meanwhile, literally back on track here. Will Kern still leading the charge with Justin Belmonte, Season 4 250 winner, and then Adam Wilson, your pole sitter for tonight's event. in third. So top 3 single file. It will become top 4 as Darcy Ford getting a big run there behind the 21. The Harrington Prince Edward Island driver started 10th. Highest position has been first. He's currently in 4th. There's Jordan Kalinian up high. So again, that high line trying to make something happen, but again with these cars, it's very weird. It's a little inconsistent when it comes to the next gen. I mean, obviously everyone talks about its flaws and everything in real life, but this car, like, inside line prevails mostly on the super speedways, but the runs can happen if you can make it work. But we saw early in the race, especially when these guys were kind of, you know, testing things out, getting comfortable with each other. There was a lot of weaving and wobbling. Lots of back and forth action throughout the field. And apparently we missed something, but it didn't seem like anyone had fully spun around. Just a lot of checking up and such. So again, that high line is starting to form a little better here than these last couple of laps, as Will Kern is going to lead this lead pack to 20 laps to go in the GTR Daytona 250. This race could be anyone's to win at this point. So looking for drivers that are trying to go for that second career 250 victory. You got Justin Belmonte there in second on the inside, but third place overall, battling for that actually with Hunter Young technically, so he goes back to 4th. Darcy Ford back in 9th, and unfortunately your defending winner Ty Higginbottom 7 laps down, 22nd place. He is at the back of the lead pack. If only he was on the lead lap. Single file, top 3. Everybody from 1st to 20th, now on 15 lap stints. Or make it 16 now, actually, as they cross the line. So no doubt that we're going to have some pit stops here in just a little bit, hopefully under green flag conditions. But yeah, we have a lot of underdogs, a lot of heavy hitters throughout this big pack here, leading the charge. Jordan Kalinian, your 8-time race winner last year, looking to add a 250 to his resume. He has a super speedway win if we do count last year's clash at Atlanta, which again, we're going back there with a points race for the first time since season 4. And for those that remember that race and remember the finish in particular, well, I'd say fingers crossed for this entire field that we hopefully don't get something similar, but I have no doubt that we probably will. Even the clash last year, before the 250, was as chaotic as you would expect. Ooh, 3 wide there, as I think something might have happened there. Mason Tomlinson drops back. Probably will get in behind Throneberg unless he and others will choose to go to pit road. No, not yet. Not this time. There's some 3 wide actions. Scott Bailey was there with Ryan O'Toole and I think C.D. Magram as well. As, oh, trouble into the wall. Turned! Mario Ercolini and Scott Bailey around at the end of the trial. Will caution with 17 to go. That is going to change everything. So your stage 1 winner and one of our 3 rookies for season 6 caught up in that one, as a piece of Scott Bailey's right front is for some reason choosing to have an incredible, if you know the technological term, ping. If you know, you know. But wow. This is going to make things interesting here at the end. We might have like, what, a 12, 13 lap shootout to the checker flag. So I imagine everyone's going to come down pit road this time or next time by, make their pit stops, and then just sail it to the checkered as soon as we go green next time. But of course, before all that happens, we will get a quick replay of what happened between the 48 and the 29. You see them heading down the front stretch. There was a bit of 3 wide there between the 148 and 16. You see, oh yeah, Bailey touched him twice on the right rear quarter panel, and then 29 goes right around. Bit of an odd one. Bailey down once, twice, slam. Ryan O'Toole got a piece of that as well. And now this right here could be a big factor in deciding who is going to become the next GTR Daytona 250 winner. As everyone heads down pit road. Get tires and fuel, or just fuel, whatever you choose to do. Put yourself in the correct track position. Be able to have an opportunity here to claim glory at the World Center of Racing. Again, a win in the Great American Races on the line in 15 laps. As Chase Beatty puts it, buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get wild. Yes, it is. And just got word, yes. Another Lil Rescue Lucky Turtle, this time going to the 97 of Ty Higginbottom. He goes from 7 to 6 laps down. I believe the 17 of Corbin McCauley was in line for that, but he chose to pit for fuel. So GG's to the 97 Tornado Alley EU Racing Toyota. One winner prediction here in the live chat. I guess we can say, unfortunately, comes from one of our DNFs. The number 7 of Andy Hurdle has his money on your current race leader in Jordan Kalinian. Again, he's won 8 times. He won 8 times last year, but still has yet to pick up that, I would say, official Super Speedway victory. He does have the Atlantic Clash win from last season, but still has yet to pick up a win at Daytona or a official points race. So if the pace car lights turn off right here, it looks like it's going to be 13 laps to the end. As, oh boy, do we have a technology? Nope. Okay, Justin Belmonte became a ghost there for just a little bit, dropping down my timing screen, but pops right back up. And so yes, the pace car lights are off. It's going to be a 13-lap shootout with what looks to be at least 19 cars on the lead lap. But it could be up to 20 cars that are set to duke it out for the biggest win, potentially the biggest win of their career in the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. Again, as I was talking about, you got Jordan Kalinian, someone who does have an Atlanta victory last year, but that was a clash, not official. Hunter Young won at Talladega 2 seasons ago, but has yet to win since then. Will Kern made 6 starts last season, in his 7th start, looking to get that first career victory and first at Daytona. Justin Belmonte and Darcy Ford right there, 4th and 6th place, 2 drivers looking to become the first 2-time GTR Daytona 250 winner. Mike Marini, 5th place, most all-time starts on the series. Most all-time podium finishes and top 5 finishes if we count literally every single race besides official ones at Daytona in our series history. And since he first joined us, 2 road course victories at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, but still has yet to win on an oval. And then also has a, I believe it was all-star race victory on the Indianapolis road course. '41 of Jose Mercado has not been to victory lane in the series since Season 3, where first 3 seasons combined he scored 6 wins, but has not yet picked up a win on the iRacing side of things. Your 8th place points finisher last year, looking to finally break that winless streak and become a winner on the iRacing side. But here we go. Flagman waves the green. 13 laps to decide the winner of the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250. As it looks like the clouds covering the sun now. As these drivers roar around turns 1 and 2. Potential issue there for the 77. He gets hung out to dry on the outside. He'll drop back in behind Adam Wilson on the high side. Your championship runner-up from last year, Jordan Kalinian, leading the field. But it's single file up until it looks to be 10th. But again, this is the calm before the storm. I'd say about halfway or so through this run, if we do stay green, watch the heck out. It's going to get crazy. And to the nearly 40 viewers that we currently have on the broadcast, again, we now have 12 laps remaining. Invite your friends and family on board. Get the viewerships up. This is bound to be arguably our greatest 250 finish that we have ever had in the series. Could we pretend? It would be quite we'd have to find a way somehow to top last year, especially because Ty Higginbottom won it on the final lap with a final lap pass on the backstretch against his teammate, nonetheless. And then he held off Justin Belmonte to the line to prevent Belmonte from going back-to-back in 250 victories. Shout out to the 22 of Bryce Fontaine in our live chat, who was not able to make it to tonight's 250, but of course tuned in. Great to see, cheering on Hyperdrive, of course. We will see him at Auto Club next Monday. Telling Hyperdrive, bring her home. So Mason Tomlinson, William Kern still remain in this one, still have an opportunity to get Hyperdrive and Bryce Fontaine a GTR Daytona 250 victory and make their team the first to have a playoff spot for one of those drivers. So again, 250 win, playoff spot, both on the line. If you want to have a hassle-free rest of the regular season, you know that you are in the 6th annual Earl Ross Cup playoffs. You have nothing to worry about the rest of the way other than maybe getting some extra points, getting a couple more wins, building on that momentum for the playoffs. Tonight is the night to try and get the job done. It's a super speedway nonetheless. Anyone could end up winning this one. With now 10 laps to go. Anyone else that has not gotten their winner predictions in yet, lock them in right now. As we are now back to double file action. As turned in the outside wall is the 80 of Mark Ouellette. He keeps it straight, not spun fully around, so that's going to keep this race under green. Go figure, it's the green car that just so happened to be the victim there of that little incident. So he'll drop all the way back. As Kalinian and Kern are basically sitting ducks together, they're kind of doing a bit of a tandem draft sort of a thing there in the top 2 spots. But would you look at this pack right here? They're going to have a massive run if they can keep it clean and steady between Marini and Mercado. The 41 is not afraid to be an aggressive driver. We've seen that out of him in past years. Not afraid to use the bumper, get a little aggressive with his competitors, get feisty. As Kalinian with a big block against Marini, trying to do the crossover. It's going to be 3 wide. Marini barely clears the 31 of Kern. 3 wide back in 5th. It's starting to get dicey. It's essentially a ticking time bomb for the next 8 laps. Marini will lead that one as someone brushed the outside wall. I think that was Ryan O'Toole. Might have been Adam Wilson. So a bit of a reset up front now as it's the top 3 single file. Marini, Kern, and Mercado. So that's your top 5 right now that has yet to win a 250. And then Belmonte and Ford there kind of together. They're 6th and 7th place. Top 4 together there, and then CD Magram ahead of Justin Belmonte getting a push from behind as there's a bit of a spread out going on here. A couple different packs now starting to get together. Mangrum will get the shove from Belmonte to now make it 6 cars together. We'll see what happens here with this double file situation. Ford was a little sideways there. Thronberg giving him a good shove from behind. Now 7 laps to go. Again, if we do make it to the white flag, the rest of the race goes green. A caution would have to come out before the white flag in order for this race to keep going of any kind. As contact, Mercado tried to sneak it underneath on the inside of Marini, but the 12 with the block. Outside line's going to have to run as a result. Mangrum pushed by Belmonte. As they get back to the line, it's the outside line with the advantage at the moment. Now 6 laps to go. It's C.D. Mangrum leading the charge, looking to get redemption from last year. He was passed on the last lap by his teammate, as I said earlier. But you also look at that, Blake Thronberg looking to have a perfect, almost perfect start to Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. Second and first place finishes in private preseason test races at Michigan and Iowa. A dual win last Monday here at Daytona. Looking to make a strong case to be a championship threat as a rookie. Basically on the same level as Jordan Kalinian, who is now leading the charge up front. Mike Marini was sideways behind him. Now 5 laps to go. Mangrum Mercado got close there. About door to door. As it is now 11 cars together for the win. Looks like about 5 cars or so behind them. 2 to 2.5 seconds back. They've lost this front pack. So if they want any chance to get back up, this pack right here would have to get together. As always, I'm saying that Kalinian with the save of the race. I don't know how we managed to do that. I was talking about Mercado's aggressiveness earlier. We just about had a victim of that. It's Marini blocking Belmonte still for the lead. Belmonte goes up high with the run. Belmonte will lead that one. 4 laps to go. This could be anyone's race to win. So many drivers in this pack. Looking for that first 250 win, trying to keep up that streak of a different winner every single season. But Justin Belmonte, right there, top car. On the outside is, oh man, young Kalinian about got together there. But Belmonte leading that outside line as one of those drivers looking for that second 250 win. Darcy Ford all the way back in 9th. 5th car on the inside, as now we have 3 laps to go in the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250. Will this lead pack make it to the end, or are we going to have a late race restart? Again, 3 green-white checkered attempts are permitted. We may have to go to overtime. These guys are wobbling back and forth. We saw Kalinian make the save of the race, and it could even be the save of the season. Maybe even the race-winning save if it just so happens to end up that way. Top 2 now single file ahead of everybody else. That's Justin Belmonte and Blake Thronberg. This is going to come down to the wire now. Popsicle sticks in the air. 2 to go at Daytona. And Belmonte looking for what would be his 4th or 5th career victory in the NASCAR Series and that 2nd career GTR Daytona 250 victory. But there are so many drivers behind him that are hungry to snap winless streaks and or become a first-time 250 winner. And thus, the pack will come off of turn number 4 for the second to last time. They will see the white flag in hand from the flagman. There it is. 1 lap to go in the 250. Will they make it back? Will they not? It is about side-by-side for the lead. Marini looking to finally get that first win since the NASCAR Heat 5 era. There's contact in second place. Marini clears the way ahead of C.D. Mangrum and Jose Mercado. Down the backstretch for one final time. Mangrum with the block. He's going to put Belmonte in the wall, and they are going to wreck in the middle of the pack. Multiple cars around down the backstretch. It is a race to the finish. We're going to stay green, of course. It's Mike Marini leading the way, looking for a playoff spot, but Jose Mercado, C.D. Mangrum right behind him. Mercado is going to go up high, down low. He gets turned, and Kern's going to try to get the run up to the high side. Drag race still alive for the 250. Kern is going to steal it! Can you feel the goosebumps? Can you feel them? And I know William Kern is certainly feeling them. How about that? The streak continues. Another different GTR Daytona 250 winner, and it comes in his 7th career series start. The 31 of William Kern gets it done for Hyperdrive. If you were not entertained by that, I don't know what else could possibly entertain you. Before Kern gets back to the line, we will quickly throw that up. A little quick winner graphic. Congratulations, Will Kern. You are locked into the 6th annual Earl Ross Cup playoffs. I said earlier, can we top last year's 250? Ty Higginbottom gets that last lap winning pass on the backstretch, and he does hang on as the cars wreck off of 4 specifically, but this time around, multiple cars around on the backstretch, and then Kern with the run of the century to steal a 250 victory from Mike Marini. And Bryce Fontaine, even though you weren't participating here in tonight's race, I know that Will Kern certainly was racing for you and making sure that he would get that victory with you absent, and he just got that done. And man, oh man, what a top 3 that is. Mike Marini still finishing second, a hell of a run and a finish, and a performance by him, and Ryan O'Toole stealing a podium finish. The entire top 5, or even I'll say 6 alone. Insane results. As he celebrates right at the start-finish line and the flag stand here at the virtual Daytona International Speedway. Could you have asked for a more wild and exciting finish to this first round of Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series? And I don't think anyone saw this coming, especially Will Kern getting the victory. I mean, for just his 7th career start in the series as well. I made that point earlier, and then what do you know? And yes, as Andy Hurdle says in the live chat too, that is absolute heartbreak for the 12 of Mike Marini. Again, the Thunder Bay, Ontario driver, he was, for official races, he was on his way to breaking a winless streak that goes all the way back to Season 3. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to snap it tonight, so he's going to have to wait just a little longer. But man, oh man, to all the viewers that we had here for tonight's 250 and to those that stuck it out till the end here, man, oh man, did you ever just witness an all-time classic finish here within the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series? That might have been by far the best I've called in a very long time. And I just received the question if I am doing the winner interview. Yes, I am fully anticipating on doing that. Just a matter of if we can have the draw. Yeah, he is in the chat, as a matter of fact. In Discord, to be specific. So just got to make sure my settings are all good. And then we'll be able to hear from your winner of the GTR Daytona 250, which again, looking at his positions here, the driver, he started 19th. Talk about a hard charger. Absolute hard charger of a performance. So we'll get in here and have a word here with your winner of the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250. And we might as well throw up the winner graphic again because we are talking to, of course, this guy. So let's see if this works out. Alrighty. Will Kern, do we have you loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, in any way, shape, or form did you see that coming? It's a simple question.
Negative. So I'm really good at super speedway racing, but my luck is never good here. So that's why I got the Lucky Charm car out tonight, man.
Absolutely, to do it for Hyperdrive Esports here, and Bryce Fontaine was in our live chat. He was eventually able to tune in and show his support, and was basically saying, boys, bring her home, and you did just that. How about that for just your 7th career start in the NASCAR Series? You made 6 starts with us last season. You joined us about midway through or so. You didn't run full time, but now this year, you are full on intent to contending for the 6th annual Earl Ross Cup, and you just started that journey off by winning the Great American Race for your first career win, the biggest win easily. Man, oh man, just continue to talk about it. And you started 19th of all positions. Like, that hard charger performance to go all the way from there to there at the very end, to steal that, maybe give a bit of heartbreak to Mike Marini, but nonetheless, it ended up right for you. Just, again, talk more about how it feels, just, again, knowing that you only have so many couple of starts, and now to start off this first full-time season, getting this 250 win with that incredible pass and finish there in the Tri-Oval.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what happened, to be honest with you, there at the end. I mean, the last lap, there was a wreck in front of me, and then went off of turn 4, and then there was another wreck in front of me. So I don't know how I missed both of those at the same time, and then I got a good run on the 12 car, and he tried pulling a block on me, and I think I might have tapped the wall coming into it, but I had the momentum. So, yeah, I'm happy for this win. It was kind of a rough race. I don't even think I got any stage points tonight at all. Got wrecked in the pits, and then ended up getting wrecked almost coming to the pits on another lap. So rough race, but I'll take the win, absolutely. First win in the NASCAR Series with you guys. Appreciate you inviting me over. I look forward to a good season this year. It's going to be a long season, man, so it's good to start out like this. Got a lot of good races on the schedule. Looking forward to a lot of them. Got to get used to this car again, man. I've been in the trucks and the Xfinity too long, so we'll see what I can do with it.
Absolutely, and it's a pleasure to have you with us, of course, with an incredibly talented field for Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. And yeah, you know, to get, as you were saying, to get this first win, to get that win over with, said and done, have that playoff spot locked up in just round 1 for the 14 regular season races, or now, I guess, the next 13 that we're going to have all the way up until August. Just to get this out of the way, and just knowing the dynamics of how tonight played out, a couple of incidents, and when you guys were really going at it together with that pack race and double file, some 3-wide action, to be able to deal with the potential stress and anxiety of all that, and just being patient and making sure to avoid all the carnage and everything. Just again, to get that win done over with at a track like this, in the race, that kind of race we just had. How are you feeling?
Honestly, I forgot about winning. You're in on the playoffs, so I'm glad you brought that up. So yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now. Yeah, exactly like you said though, man. I was just trying to be patient all race. The stage wins didn't matter to me. I mean, I would have liked to gotten some kind of points out of the stages, but I wanted to be there at the end, and I was in the right positioning. I didn't know what it was going to end up, because I God, I had to be like 10th, 11th, something like that, coming into turn 3, and then the wrecks started to happen in front of me, and to come out with the win there at the end it's awesome, man. I'm looking forward to the next race, though. These super speedways always are nerve-wracking as heck, so looking forward to it.
And I also just got the confirmation that you're also going to get 1 bonus point towards the championship point standings because you got the Repulink's fastest lap. You clinched that.
Nice.
So obviously
you're just coming in with all the good news tonight, man.
Yes. The win you're in, you got the one little extra point for the fastest lap. I mean, hey, every point counts. Every point matters. That was kind of the deal with the dual races last Monday night as well. But yes, man, to finally get the job done. Just your 7th career NASCAR Series start, and to start off your first full-time season with a GTR Daytona 250 victory. Who gets the thanks for being able to come on out on this Monday night and get the job done?
Well, to be honest with you, man, there's a lot of people I got to thank, especially you up here in the booth. You're all by yourself tonight. I appreciate you broadcasting and everything. I know what it takes to run the booth and run these races, so good on you. Very much appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
I got a couple guys myself on the car tonight, Pride and Trust Painting, and then who do we got for the one there, the Lucky Turtle? Like, that is the coolest sponsor that you guys got this season.
Little Rescue Reptile Rescue. You can thank Marco Tool for that.
That is absolutely the coolest sponsor on the board this for this season, man. I love it. Again, thank you guys, all at EMSN, for inviting me over here, and hopefully I can be up in the booth with you guys quite a few more times this season, at least with a podium anyways, and we'll see what happens, I guess.
Indeed, and now looking forward, you already talked a little bit about Auto Club coming up next, and you mentioned the whole Super Speedway thing, getting away from those. Obviously, Atlanta is coming up in just a little bit for round 5 on May 19th, but of course, we are just about a month or so away from that, thank goodness. So, of course, you'll try to keep that Super Speedway streak going over there, but of course, again, that's still times away. Next up, next Monday, April 28th, 100 laps at the Auto Club Speedway, our second time in series history, or at least within the iRacing era now that I think about it. Daytona and Auto Club starting the season off 1 and 2. Auto Club Speedway, what's your sort of experience there, at least on iRacing, and what have you raced? How many times have you raced there before? What do you like there, and how do you think you'll put up with the rest of the cars and stars of this incredibly stout field?
It is really hard to tell, man. This is a heck of a field this season. I'd like to boast myself a little bit. I consider myself a good racer, but being lined up with all these guys out here, I mean, it's going to be tough to even get a top 10 in the series. So, Auto Club, I'm decent there. I've won there a couple times in the trucks. I know a couple times in Xfinity. Don't think I've ever gotten a win there in the Cup, but maybe I can break that stretch. But the next one I'm really looking forward to is Homestead myself. I'm really good at Homestead, Miami, so that's only a couple races away.
I mean, you did say you've been doing a lot of Xfinity and truck racing for the past little while. Then you enter a Cup car and you win a half Daytona 500 essentially, and then all the Xfinity and truck wins at Auto Club. Now you're going to be stepping into a Cup car for our race at Auto Club next Monday night. So, I mean, hey, it happened at Daytona. Maybe it happens at Auto Club.
Let's hope so, man. Like I said, I'd like to be up here in the booth with you guys again and see if I can collect another win this season anyways.
And we have no doubt that's certainly going to be a possibility for the rest of Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. Of course, so with all that being said, that was our post-race winner interview with the driver of the number 31 car for Hyperdrive Esports, driving the 31 Toyota out of Dansville, New York. Of course, I'll shout out the sponsors, Pride and Trust Painting, Carter Racing Paints, and Red Jacket on that car. That got the victory in the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250 tonight. Congratulations to William Kern, locked into the 6th annual Earl Ross Cup playoffs as well. there's that chance to maybe become the second driver in series history to be a Daytona 250 winner and maybe a NASCAR Series champion. But of course, still very early. Plenty of season left to go. Kern, I have no doubt that at some point later in the season, we may be talking once again, as you said. Hopefully that does happen. But anyways, congratulations once again, and best of luck at Auto Club next Monday.
Thank you, sir. I'll see you next week.
Alrighty, take her easy. And celebrate safely and fine. Alright, he left. Anyways. So let's get out of there. And so, of course, that was the interview there. The post-race winner interview with the driver, the number 31, William Kern. Your first winner in Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series season. But, of course, after all of that, before we get to our post-race show, we must go back, if we can go far back enough. There we go. Here is your replay of the final lap of the GTR Daytona 250. Get the iRacing volume back on. Yes, I believe this is the final lap. So you see Mike Marini, and then Sidney Mangrum and Justin Melmani touching each other there. They get off of 2. Continues to get aggressive. Mangrum, lots of shoves from Mercado. Mangrum trying to block Melmani, and then it's just carnage. It's a ripple effect from there. Multiple cars get piled up into the grass. Everyone goes everywhere. Yada, yada, yada. And then, I don't know, would you call this the greatest finish in series history right here? This very well could be, like, look at that. Like, Mercado and Mangrum take themselves out entirely. And then I'm going to replay it one more time because that was a little awkward right there. But you see themselves turn right there, and then look at the run from Kern. Marini trying to make the block. He gave him a couple of bumps there along the door. Then gave him a bit of a turn into the tri-oval. Kind of a... If you remember that one finish from a couple of years back in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series with Grant Enfinger and Jordan Anderson. Of course, Marini being the Enfinger in this situation was not able to hang on in this time. But man, oh man. And Ryan O'Toole had those two kind of... If had this all happened just a little earlier, a couple of feet more back, O'Toole could have had the run to make it 3 wide or even steal the win from the both of them. But a podium finish out of O'Toole is... Whew. So as you can see there, yeah, Mercado, not clear, down into Mangrum. They're going to both go down into the inside wall just before pit road, and then you see that jump up high. Kern Marini gave him the touch trying to block. Gave him a bit of a door bump right there as well, but Kern hangs on with the run of the century, the run of his career. Stealing the GTR Daytona 250 outright. That's 2 years in a row where we've had a last lap pass. This time around, it was in the tri-oval, just a few feet away from the checkered flag. Still getting the goosebumps with that. Oh, this is going to be a wild angle in slow motion. Bam. Yeah, Kern obviously wasn't too affected by this point whenever he had that incident there on pit road, and then you got that second spin of his race right there, but it happened after the start-finish line, after the checkered flag, so all good, obviously. But of course, without further ado, as I go back to regular motion here, yeah, there we go. We'll stay on Kern here as we'll probably get an angle of him celebrating just a little bit. A bit of an idea of how to go about this. But of course, it's time for the Valvoline Instant Oil Change post-race show. So once again, thanks to Valvoline for hopping on as the sponsor for the pre-race, post-race shows. and also the team championship as well. So it's time to look at our unofficial results for tonight's 6th annual GTR Daytona 250. Of course, as you can see right there on the left side, William Kern, the number 31 Hyperdrive Esports Toyota, goes to victory lane at the World Center of Racing. And it was by 26 thousandths of a second, 200ths right there just for the win. One of our closest finishes in series history in recent memory, although there was a lot closer of a finish at Charlotte back in, I believe it was season 4. It was sometime in the last 2 seasons. That was a lot closer, but still nonetheless, for the standards of what we have here tonight and what we have usually for super speedways, this is usually a rarity. So awesome to have witnessed all that. And then Ryan O'Toole, man oh man, had all that just happened a couple of feet behind, maybe he would have had the winning run there to steal the victory of the 31 and the 12. But a podium finish in to start his sophomore season, that might be a statement right there. And to him, Hunter Young, Mason Tomlinson ran at the top 5. Tomlinson scored back-to-back podium finishes in their first 2 stages, 3rd place and 3rd place, and then rounding out the race overall with a top 5 finish. Incredible run by him. And then the best finishing rookie out of the entire field, that would be Matthew McDonald, the number 25, who we saw earlier have a couple issues, go some laps down, but he got back on the lead lap. He fought off that adversity. He stayed patient and came away with a 6th place finish in his first career NASCAR Series start. Jason Butler in 7th. We saw him earlier get involved in an incident. Darcy Ford, Justin Belmonte, former 250 winners, will have to wait another season to become the first multi-time 250 winner. And then Tom Janikowski, a bit of a quiet top 10 right there, not too shabby. And to him, as we will move on through the rest of the results now from 11th to 20th, where we have the next rookie, Mario Ercolini, in 11th. Mark Goulet, 12th place. We saw him get into the outside wall there early in stage 3, but he was able to bounce back. A couple more incidents occurring and such. Adam Wilson, your 250 pole sitter, 13. Jordan Kalinian and Jose Mercado rounding at the top 15. We saw Mercado consistently running up front along with Kalinian as well. The 00 led many laps. But unfortunately, especially for the 41, he was right there about 3rd, 4th place or so on the inside. And then caught up on that backstretch big one. Jared Ireland, 16. Charlie Sears rounding out the lead lap cars in 17th. And then you get the cars that just unfortunately did not have things go their way towards the end, 1 or more laps down or even a DNF. Blake Thronberg, C.D. Magram, and Corbin McCauley rounding out your top 20. And then the rest of the way where we have your defending 250 winner who unfortunately was not able to defend his crown. 6 laps down, Ty Higginbottom. Scott Bailey, 15 laps down in 22nd. Kyle Knoll, 23rd, 35 laps down. Daniel Cudmore, Network and Series founder, 24th, 61 laps down. And man, oh man, rounding out the field. Last year's GTR Daytona 250 pole sitter, this year a dual winner. Unfortunately, was only able to make it 30 laps through this one, and then caught up in an incident and was the first DNF and the last place finisher of the 250. But again, there's still 13 regular season races remaining, still plenty of time to get back within the playoff push. And again, a win is all you may need just to lock yourself in, obviously, as long as also you have to stay top 20 in points. So as long as Hurdle gets himself above that, then what do you know? Just rebound at Auto Club next Monday. Again, there's a bit of a break from super speedways for the next little bit, for the next about month or so. So it should be all good on him. But those were your unofficial results for the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250. And now I could go into the split screen graphic if I had Jordy Carraher with me, but might as well not. But anyways, I have just received communication that we apparently have broken a record for the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. It's the communication, the certain communication says iRacing, so I will safely assume that means during the iRacing era. I don't even know if we ever actually counted them back in the NASCAR Heat 5, the console era. I don't even know. But anyways, on the iRacing side of things, we have broken a record for the most lead changes in one race at 30. I remember the last time I checked, it was 24. Yes, I just got the confirmation it is on iRacing. I don't even know if we actually kept track of them during the console era, but anyways, those were the old days. Whatever. On the within the iRacing era, new record, 30 lead changes. I'm telling you, with this field, just like 25 of these drivers, and then you add on Bryce Fontaine for next week onward, I'm telling you, this right here was just the very beginning to what is no doubt going to be a season filled with parity, maybe a bit of domination, but some incredible racing, and might even be our best season ever for the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series on iRacing, as we try to hit that kind of a halfway between half of our seasons being on console, half of them on iRacing. We will obviously get to that all the way over towards September. But again, that's all the coverage for tonight. We now press forward to next Monday, the rest of the schedule for Season 6. That was Daytona. Cross that off on your sheet. It's now next Monday, April 28th, that we look forward to, where... Let's get the right graphic up. Maybe that one. Yes, sir. We return to the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the GTR Motorsports 200. Again, Monday, April 28th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Atlantic, live here on the E-Motorsports Network YouTube channel. It's a continuous streak for Auto Club. We have raced here every single season since we first began. And so, going off of last year, if I can get my research right, yes, it was the number 60 or number 6 last year of Justin Belmonte going back-to-back at Auto Club. Actually, no, that wouldn't technically be back-to-back. Where am I looking? Okay, yeah, we went to Auto Club twice last year. Justin Belmonte and Scott Bailey won each race. So I guess 2 within 3, I guess, for someone like the number 60 of Justin Belmonte at the Auto Club Speedway. But yeah, that was the Super Speedway tonight, where literally we know anyone could win. Next Monday might be a bit of a different story. The next couple of weeks might be a little bit of a different story before we go to Atlanta, where we're going to really truly see who is the best of the best when we get to the tracks where you have to slow down. It's, you know, that multi-groove racing, like tire wear is going to come into play. There's a whole bunch of different factors not really at play here tonight that are going to matter a ton next week and moving forward. So again, that's the GTR Motorsports 200 at Auto Club Speedway next Monday night. Of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you're notified when we do go live next Monday night. And so, without further ado, again, that was the 6th annual GTR Daytona 250, round number 1 of 21 for Season 6 of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series season. Once again, congratulations to William Kern on scoring his first career victory in the series in just his 7th career start, winning at the World Center of Racing of all places for his first win, and he is the first of 12 drivers locked into the 6th annual Earl Ross Cup playoffs. So now we leave the World Center of Racing and we head from Florida down the southeast to the West Coast in California to Fontana for Auto Club next Monday night. So until then, my name is Regan McCauley. On behalf of myself and everybody else here within the E-Motorsports Network, our sponsors and partners, everyone involved in making this happening, thank you very much for tuning in tonight for the Great American Race. We'll see you all next Monday night. Until then, take care, have a good one, and we'll see you on the next Monday.